Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Givaradari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Givaradari Yasodanandana Bhajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Bhajana Ranjana Yamunatera Vanachari Yamunatera Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari Krishna. Someone translate. Somebody translate. Yeah. Okay. Hare Krishna, today we will discuss Canto 9, Chapter 15, Parasuram, the Lord's Warrior Incarnation, text 27, 28, 29 and 30. So text 30 will be projected and we will repeat together. I will first recite the first verses. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottanam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tat Tato Jamudirayat Nastapayesi Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavate Uttamasloke Bhakti Bhavitanaistike. So I will first recite text 27. Atarajani niyate Rama ashrama agatam Shutva tattasya daratmyam Sukrodadir ivahatam. Thereafter, Kartavir Arjuna, having left with the Kamadhenu, Parashuram returned to the ashram. When Parashuram, the youngest son of Jamadagni, heard that about Kartaviryajuna's nefarious deed, he became angry and trampled as a trampled snake. Text 28. Goramadaya parasum satunam varmakarmukam amvadavatadurmaso brihandaiva utapam. Taking up his fierce chopper, his shield, his bow, and the quiver of arrows, Lord Parshuram, exceedingly angry, chased Kartavir Arjuna just as a lion chases an elephant. Text 29. Tam apatam tam priyovaryamo yasa danurdaram vanaparasvadayudam enea sharmam baramachkadarmabir yatabir tatrishe purim visan. As King Kartavir Arjuna entered his capital, Mahismati Puri, he saw Lord Parashuram, the best of the Bhrigu dynasty, coming after him, holding a chopper, shield, bow, and arrows. Lord Parashuram was covered with a black deerskin, and his matted locks of hair appeared like the sunshine. Then, text 30. We can repeat together on the screen. Yeah. Osadaya dastiratas vapatibir. Osadaya dastiratas vapatibir. Yada syabana ristisatang nisaktibi. Akshayini saptadasati bishanas. Tarama eko bhagavan asudayat. Asodayagdastiratas vapatibir. Yada shibanasti satang visaktibi. Aksahini saptadasati bishanas. Taramaiko Bhagavan Asudayat. Please repeat. Asodayadastiratas vapatibir. Yada shibanasta satangi suktibi. Asani sapta dasabi vinasanas. Tarama eko bhagavan asudayat. Asodayadastiratas vapatibir. Yada shivanasti satangi saktibi. Akshayini saptadasati bisanas. Tarama eko bhagavan asudayat. Asodayadastiratas vapatibir. Nibanasti satanki saktibi. Akshani sapta sadasi divasan. Tarameko Bhagavan Vasudaya. Ladies, please. Asodaya Svapatibir. Kada Sivanasti Satankni Saktibi. Aksaniti Saptadasati Pisanas. Tatramaiko Bhagavan Sudaya. Word for word translation. Asodayat. He sent for fighting. Hasti with elephants. Ratta with chariots. Asva with horses. Patibihi and with infantry. Gada, clubs. Asi with swords. Bana with arrows. Rishti with the weapons called rishtis. Satachni with weapons called satachnis. Saktibihi with weapons called saktis. Aksanihi whole groups of aksahinis. Saptadas 17. Aarti Bhishana very fierce. Taha all of them. Rama Lord Parasuram. Ekaha alone. Bhagavan the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Asudayat killed. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Upon seeing Parasuram, Kartavirarjuna immediately feared him and sent many elephants, chariots, horses, and infantry soldiers equipped with clubs, swords, arrows, rishtis, satachnis, shaktis, and many similar weapons to fight against him. Kartavirarjuna sent 17 full aksahinis of soldiers to check Parasuram, but Lord Parasuram alone killed all of them. Purport. The word aksahini refers to a military phalanx consisting of 21,870 chariots and elephants, 109,350 infantry soldiers, and 65,610 horses. An exact description is given in the Mahabharata Adi Parva, 2nd chapter as follows. Ekorati gatyasyaika narapansha padayatayam Trayasa tarugastat knyai patir it abidiyate patim tutrigunamitam vidusenamukam buddha trinisinamukam yekaro gulma it abidiyate trigulmaganu nama vaininu ganastrayam sutrastisastu vainyam pritaneti vinaksanai Chamastu pritanasti saskam vastisastvagnikini anikinim dasagunam haur aksahinim buddha aksahinyastu sankyata ratanam tvifyasatama sankyoganito tatvachyai Sahasranyeka vimsati satanuparishasta shabaustata sasaptapihi gachanam tu parishmanam tavat evatra nirdishat hyenam satasasram tu sasrani tatanava naranam adipanchasak shatani trinashanaga Panchasasti sasrani tatasvanam satanisha dasatarani chatsaur Yatavat akshi sankhya etam maksoinim prahu sankhya tattva vidojana. 1 chariot, 1 elephant, 5 infantry soldiers, and 3 horses are called apati, those who are learned in the science. By those who are learned in the science. The wise also know that Senamukha is 3 times what apati is. 3 Senamukhas are known as 1 Gulma. 3 Gulmas are called a Gana, and 3 Ganas are called a Vahini. 3 Vahinas have referred to by the learned as 1 Pritana. 3 Pritanas equal 1 Chamu, and 3 Chamus equal 1 Anikini. The wise refer to 10 Anikinis as 1 Aksarini. The chariots of an Aksarini have been calculated at 21,870 by those who know the science of such calculations. O best of the twice born, and the number of elephants is the same. The number of infantry soldiers is 109,350, and the number of horses is 65,610. That is called an Aksahini. Om Akyanati Mandasya Chanansana Shanakya Sakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Chitchetanya Manobishtam Stapatam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupakadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shio Shiyuda Padakamalam Shirum Vaishnavam Shirupam Jagajatam Saganaragnuptam Pitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savdutam Parijanasaitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagalita Shivshakam Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinakam Pando Jatpate Gopesha Kopkakanta Radhakanta Namastate Tapta Kanchna Gaurangi Radhi Vindavaneshwari Vishavana Sutta Devi Pranamama Haripe Pancha Kalpta Vishakri Pasanve Vishapatnam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namo Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhaktavina Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namni Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharni Nirvishesha Srinyavadi Paskachai Desatarni Srila Prabhupada. So here, Kartavya Arjuna, he took this Kamadhenu from Jamadagni, and we see the results here. That although he sent these 17 Aksahinis of, and that's a big party. It's an Aksahini is an army in itself. That, yes, 21,800 chariots, 109,350 soldiers, and 65,610 horses. That's quite an army. And he sent 17 like that. And Parshuram all single-handed finished them. It's like Krishna, then Jarasandha, he sent, I think, 21 Aksarinis, and he finished them all. I think at the Battle of Kurukshetra there were less Aksarinis, so you can imagine. But an army, how many people he finished? 17 multiplied by 100,000 soldiers, that's a lot. 1,700,000 soldiers finished. That and more than 150,000, more than nearly 1 million horses. It has been a big battle. But yes, what is the lesson that we are learned? We can learn from this. That Lord Krishna in the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita says to Arjuna, Idam tu te gyātanam pavakshamana suya vejnanam vijnanam saitam gatvatam mokshabe subhat. He said, because you are never envious of me, I will give you this knowledge you can understand. So if we are envious, we cannot understand our situation. And that's the problem here. Kartavya Arjuna wanted this Kamadenu, that he was envious. Envious means I feel sorry that someone else has this, and I want also to have it. And what is the root of envy? The root of envy is envy of Krishna. And that's why we are all here. And we will all be killed by Krishna. Krishna says, Mrityu Savasas I'm all devouring death. My mission is to kill everyone, all, including us. We are in the land, in the universe of death. We will all die. And it's Krishna who made that arrangement. Because we are envious. And that we see also. That because Parasuram is representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He acts according to the Supreme Lord. The will of the Supreme Lord. But to understand this envy and this cause of this envy more deeply, Krishna has enacted the pastime of Paundraka. And there we find the analysis of this envy. That King Paundraka, he said to Krishna that I'm the real Vasudeva. He challenged Krishna. And he said to Krishna, you give up your false position. Give up all your symbols of being Vasudeva and take shelter of me, he said. Otherwise, we will fight. That was Paundraka. So yes, once we were in the spiritual world and we were thinking, how would it be to be Krishna for a moment? Of course, in the spiritual world, all your desires are immediately fulfilled. And we have been transferred to this material world to experience what it is to imitate Krishna. So the root cause is envy of Krishna. And the problem in this world is that everyone encourages us in cultivating that envy. That brings up the point, do we have association that keeps us in illusion? Unless we associate with devotees, everyone keeps you in illusion because they are telling you are the body and life is to enjoy of the body, which is a useless thing. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, one who lives for the satisfaction of the senses he lives in vain for nothing. But everyone is encouraging you. Make career. Strive for a happy life in a place where happiness is impossible. And that's a reality. So everyone is encouraging you in that illusion to take Krishna's position and to out of envy. And yes, we see that that's when Pandaka sent his message to Dwarka with a messenger, and it was read in the assembly hall. There, King Ugrasena and all the members of the royal assembly heard it, and they laughed for a long time. And then, yes, of course, the message was, Pandaka said, I will force you, to give up your imitation of Vasudeva. But Krishna told the messenger, I will force you to give up your imitation of the divine symbols of mine. When you lie down on the battlefield, you will become the shelter of dogs. So, Krishna went out with his army to Kasi, confronting King Pandraka with his army. Then Pandraka was there dressed with two false arms, like Vasudeva. And when Krishna saw him for the first time, how he was imitating him, he was laughing with great satisfaction. But this desire to compete with Krishna is the root existence, is the root of material existence. Compete. So this competition we find everywhere in this world, because everyone is competing for the same resources. They want to enjoy the same resources, so there must be competition. So what did Lord Krishna do? The same as Parasuram here. He annihilated the whole army of Pandraka, and he beheaded Pandraka with his Sudarshan disc. Of course, one good thing was for Pandraka, he was constantly meditating on Krishna. But he did not attain the platform of devotional service. To go to the spiritual world, you must attain the platform of devotional service. So he may attain liberation for the moment, temporary. So that's our choice. Either we are trying to be Krishna, or we can assist Krishna in his enjoyment. And that is the ecstasy, the great pleasure of the spirit soul. That gives us full satisfaction. So that's our choice. And that tendency to exploit Krishna's resources is deeply rooted in our heart since time immemorial. So this story of Pandraka is very interesting because it shows that there have always been rascals, Srila Prabhupada says, who consider themselves gods. Like, of course, we have the story of Hiranyakashipu, so many others that, and many want to try to kill God, like Kamsa and his associates. That so the point is that they try to enjoy Krishna's energy, and that's the cause of the problem. That Ravan wanted Sita but not Ram. He wanted to enjoy the energy of Krishna. That, but devotees are different. They want always to bring Radha and Krishna together. In Vrindavan, everyone tries to bring Radha and Krishna together. That, so that's the platform of devotion. The platform of envy is, I want Radha, not Krishna. But that's not working. That then we are competing with Krishna. So that brings us to the point, am I competing with Krishna? That because it's just due to ignorance. We are thinking material enjoyment, that's the goal of my life. But that material enjoyment is for a temporary body which will soon die. And a materialistic person, all his plans are made for that purpose. And it's useless. It's madness. It's illusion. We see there are wars on this planet. And one party says, no, it's my land. And the other, no, it's my land. And they fight. But it's not the land of party A. It's not the land of party B. It's Krishna's land. But we think it's my land. I'm here just for a few moments and now it's mine. So yes, that's the demoniac consciousness. That they think I have to increase my enjoyment without limit. And what's the result? Krishna says to Arjuna, because you are anasuyave, non-envious, you can understand this transcendental knowledge. As long as we are affected by this tendency to compete, we cannot understand anything on the transcendental platform. That such consciousness of envy prevents one to be satisfied. You will always feel unsatisfied, unfulfilled. And it prevents to be satisfied with what they have now, and they want to increase, and lust develops, and an envy of others, because all those who are striving for temporary sense gratification, such persons create a society of envy. And due to this mentality, everyone is plunging in an ocean of suffering. That is the material nature. That's how it works. And nobody can go beyond it unless one comes to Krishna consciousness. So this is the demoniac consciousness, that they think that, I want to increase my enjoyment more and more. And such consciousness blocks one's desire to serve Krishna. It blocks that, because people become envious of another, and because they are envious of another, they cannot see others as part and parcels of Krishna. That they see them as part and parcels of this world. That they cannot see how they relate to the absolute truth. And that just due to their propensity for enjoyment. So everyone wants to enjoy exclusively. There is a battle for the same resources. But the same resources, that means there is competition. There's competition and envy. So an envious person becomes completely bewildered by the material energy. And they don't really realize that there is a supreme controller. That we are under the control of superior energy. But this envy is the beginning of material life. It's to be envious of Krishna. And it's the mentality of, why should Krishna be the enjoyer? I shall be the enjoyer. Everyone in the material world is envious of everyone else, and there is competition. The Bhagavatam says in the second verse, this scripture is for those who are non-envious. So we do not want to accept Krishna as the supreme enjoyer. So Krishna Bhaktaram Charatapasam Sarvalokmashvaram Sridam Sarvabhutnam Katvamam Santmarichyati. There it is said, Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, because he's the supreme proprietor. That's why. If you are the proprietor, you can enjoy. Does that mean that we cannot enjoy? Yes, but we are secondary enjoyers. First we offer to Krishna, and then we enjoy. That's the principle. In other words, the desire to enjoy independently, that's a problem. And that's a cause of our envy. And that envy means I desire to gratify my senses, and we are trying to be Krishna. We are competing with his position as the enjoyer. So that brings us to the point, the reflection of all this pastime here we see with Kartavya Arjuna. Am I also a victim of Pandaka's mentality? Everyone in this world. Because this body you get because you have been envious of Krishna. So this body itself is a symbol of your enviousness. Nobody can say, I've not been envious. No. That's, you get a body. That's because of your envy. And are we also competing with Krishna, even while practicing devotional service? Interesting, challenging question. So that's our choice. We can compete with Krishna, or we can serve Krishna. The choice is us, and the result will also be ours. So these are important lessons to be learned from these pastimes, that life is only meaningful if it's directed toward eternal existence. And we are eternal, but we have become attached to this body and these temporary situations created out of envy of Krishna. And that end result is there. Parasuram kills them all, and we have also a temporal body, will also be killed. Because Arjuna does not want to kill Bhishmadev. But Krishna explains him in the Bhagavad Gita through his teachings. You do not want to kill Bhishmadev, but do you think even if you don't kill him, and he wins the battle, that he will survive? Nobody survives. The death rate in this material world is 100% for everyone. Nobody comes out but an intelligent person thinks, how can I get out of it? How can I get back my eternal existence? Because the point is there. Bhagavad Gita explains, therefore, the difference between the body and the soul. We are the consciousness in this body. It comes from the soul. That's what we really are. The consciousness is eternal. It's coming from the spiritual platform, because that's the spirit soul. Our consciousness can be covered temporarily by the material energy, but it's eternal. It will be revived sooner or later. But when we attain the platform of Krishna consciousness, we revive our consciousness, our spiritual consciousness for eternity. And we see that. We have seen in the pastime of Bharat. Bharat becomes a deer. He still is conscious, Krishna conscious. Remember everything what happens. He becomes a Jada Bharat. He remembers, and his consciousness is still Krishna conscious. Narada Muni, in his next life, he remembers his previous life. It's another exhalation of Mahavishnu, but it's still a remembering. This is the point. Krishna consciousness brings us to the point of realizing our real position as a spirit soul. And it's not theoretically. You realize that the great Mahabharats, they enter the pastimes of Krishna, Aprakat Lila. And it's a real experience, an eternal experience. So therefore Krishna says, my devotee will never perish. From the moment you start to revive this Krishna consciousness, you get it for eternity. But the condition to revive it is giving up this envy. And that's the point. And that's an important lesson. Even with 17 Aksahinis, no way to come out of it. He had to get his reaction for his nefarious activities out of envy. So thank you. There are comments or questions, please. Yes, please.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you very much for beautiful class. My question is, Maharaj, like we have fallen into this material world due to envy to Krishna, and we have the independent enjoying mentality. Although we are understanding this, but still the tug of war continues with Maya, and we try to offer some time to Krishna. Again, we try to enjoy ourselves only. So, like I personally don't understand like how long it will continue, whether like how many lifetimes it will take to come to understanding that now I have to completely give enjoyment to Krishna only. How to overcome it?
Yeah, that you can certainly overcome it by practical experience. And that is a point that has been made here in my presentation about envy. You never feel satisfied. Never. You will never be peaceful and happy at heart. But when you start to practice Krishna consciousness, and you practice as appropriately. Appropriately means I do it only for Krishna, without asking something in return, out of love, just for him. That and I do this always. Then you will feel satisfied in heart. That and that's already a great achievement in this world, because then the envy goes away from your heart. That Srila Prabhupada said, there was this man. Srila Prabhupada gave a lecture somewhere in India in a temple, and a businessman came and he sat in the back listening to the class, and he was sitting there, and after 5 minutes he fell asleep. And then the devotees woke him up and said, yes, I already weeks, months I could not sleep out of anxiety, and now I'm hearing, I sit down, I hear the Swami, and I became very peaceful. So that's the effect of only hearing the Bhagavatam. That's mentioned in the Bhagavatam also, in a verse, that while we are hearing, it's in the 4th canto, while we are hearing the Bhagavatam, then at least for the time being, all the envy of our heart goes away, and we become peaceful. So it is a question to practice continuously and stay in association of devotees. And gradually, when we practice it correctly, we will feel satisfied. We will not get directly the great ecstasy and the great happiness, but satisfaction will be there. From the service, we can derive it from the service itself, if it's done with an appropriate inner attitude. It's just simple that people in this world, if they act out of envy, they identify with the body, and they act as they are the body. But we can get satisfaction if we act as a spirit soul. As a spirit soul. If you act as a spirit soul means only for the pleasure of Krishna, that and without material motive, that then this satisfaction will be felt, because your spiritual body becomes really reactivated. And that's what's happening. Because when we were in the spiritual world, we had only a spiritual body. But the spiritual body you can only use to serve Krishna. And then we became envious of Krishna and we wanted to be Krishna. So then Krishna says, yeah, okay, I will fulfill your desire. You are sure you want it? Okay. But you cannot do it with your spiritual body, so I will give you a material body and a material intelligence to make plans for that. So that's the point. We have desire. And with our desire, we activate the spiritual or the material body. And we activate the spiritual body by acting out of love for Krishna. And that activates our spiritual nature, our real nature. In the beginning, it's just satisfaction because this covering of consciousness is still dense. But when we go to anartha nivritti, then it comes less and less dense, and we become more and more satisfied. And when the covering is gone, then we serve Krishna with love and feel ecstasy, and a happiness which is millions greater than one drop of Brahman. But before we come, there is a satisfaction. So that is the principle, and it's up to us. Does that help? Something else? Okay. Thank you very much. Shantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.